doggies. So thank you so much for practicing with me here in my home. I've enjoyed my home practice here, as I hope you have as well. So today what I have for you is about 20 minutes of a really, really gentle flow practice, really just meant to stretch our body in really natural ways. And we'll do a couple downward facing dogs, a couple low lunges. We'll get as high as Tadasana, and then we'll bring it back down for some additional stretching, and that'll be it for us for today. So let's get started. We're gonna begin by seated pose in Sukhasana pose, which is exactly as I'm sitting now. So just cross-legged or any other version of your easy seated pose you like to take. And to begin, just gently rocking side to side, maybe finding the sit bones nice and rooted, nice and anchored. Maybe starting to shift the weight to the front and then to the back, finding this space where your shoulders are stacked directly over your hips. And then take your palms, let them just fall on the knees or the tops of the thighs. Let them just be exactly as they landed. You can close your eyes, or you can take your gaze soft with your eyelids heavy, maybe gazing at a spot on the floor. And then just start to relax the breath. Without changing your breath intentionally or with purpose, just completely bring awareness to it. Noticing the inhales and the exhales. Maybe starting to notice just that space in between the breath in and the breath out. That small pause. And then start to find that this breath completely naturally slows itself down, smooths itself out. And that the breath allows the body to soften, to feel light, to feel easy, and not only easy but enjoyable to be in it. Take a deep breath in through the nose and exhale. Start to bring the hands to heart center. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down, and then softly start to open the eyes. Take an inhale, reach the fingers high, staying up at the top for a couple breaths as you soften the shoulders. And it might feel good at first just to gently rock side to side maybe. And keeping the biceps to the ears, letting the shoulders stay soft. And then let's separate the palms and start to reach the right arm up and then the left arm up. Just these really tiny pulses here, almost like you're pulling something from the ceiling down to you. Not forcing anything, just noticing this stretch, this awakening of the side of the body. And then stopping at center, releasing the right hand down and willowing over to that right side. So not going too deep here as we're gonna add on, but let that left palm stay down. Let the left bicep stay at the ear. Take a breath in, then out. Take that left hand to the back of the head, just opening up the elbow, inhale. And then exhale, draw the left elbow down to the right knee so it doesn't have to touch, just this really natural rotation. Inhale, come all the way back up. And then exhale, gently release all the way back down. Inhaling, come all the way up. And then exhale, gently release that left arm back up and over the head. Let the palm face down. And let it go. One more inhale, come all the way up. Gently start to find these tiny little pulses again, allowing yourself to close your eyes. Feeling those gentle reaches, that gentle side stretch. Just maybe noticing the difference side to side. I'm just gonna unplug my music real quick. We're gonna take it on the opposite side. This time the left arm is gonna come down and the right arm is gonna reach up and over the head. So remembering how far we're going in this, just allowing this first stretch to be really gentle. And then now take the right hand to the back of the head, open up the shoulder, inhale. And then exhale, right elbow to the left knee. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, release it down. Inhale, come up. And then exhale, gently reach that right arm back up and over. Allowing yourself to maybe go a little bit deeper here. Take a breath in. And then exhale, slowly start to come all the way up. Last time here, find those tiny little pulls, reaching up. Now pause at the center. Inhale, reach high, gaze high. Exhale, draw the hands to heart. And we'll meet in tabletop pose. So coming into your tabletop pose, stacking the bones to start. So your wrists are directly underneath your shoulders and the knees directly underneath the hips. Now to begin, I want you to close your eyes and just gently rock side to side. Maybe start to move a little intuitively here. So if it sounds like it might feel good to just shift the hips back onto the heels for a moment, maybe shifting forward, maybe making these little figure eights with the spine, maybe releasing the head, the neck down, just kind of working with your body, not pushing it, working with it. And then when you're ready, come to this neutral spine. We'll take 3 cat-cows together. So on your inhale, drop the belly and look up. On your exhale, draw the chin to the chest, round the spine. Again, inhale, drop the belly, look up. And then exhale, round the spine. Linking your breath with the movement here. So use the whole breath in and the whole breath out. Inhaling, drop the belly, look up. Last time here. And then exhale, draw the chin to the chest. Now hold here, draw the navel to the spine. Inhale, breathe into the vertebrae, breathe into the spine. And then exhale, release back down, tabletop pose. We'll tuck the toes under and start to walk our hands all the way back to our knees, lifting the heart, the chest, the upper body, and find the stacking of the bones again. So the shoulders are directly over the hips. Flip the palms to emphasize the shoulders, the heart opening, and just close your eyes and breathe here. Taking one more breath in. Exhaling, gently release back down into a tabletop pose, keeping the toes tucked under to start. Now untuck the toes, walk the knees out to the edges of the mat and find your first child's pose. So the hips sink all the way back onto the heels and start to inch the fingers up towards the top of the mat as the forehead comes down to make connection. So I'm going to keep my gaze lifted just so the projection of my voice can come to you. But make connection with your forehead and something. So for some of us, that's the mat. For some of us, that's building with some props, maybe a blanket or a pillow. Wherever you are, just allow this pose to gently release. Feel the stretch to the front of the ankles now. Almost release through the seat, low back. And we'll take a deep breath in, start to inch your fingers up towards the top of the mat. And then exhale, walk your hands over to the right side of the mat. And if it's there for you, take your left palm and place it on top of your right hand. Let the shoulders soften, take the gaze under your right arm, your right bicep. Really stretch through the side of the body here. Take a breath in. Exhale, child's pose. Walk the hands all the way back to center. And on the inhale, inch forward. Stretch the spine. And then exhale, opposite side. Hands walk over to the left, and the right palm now comes on top of the left. You can take your gaze under the left bicep as your forehead makes connection with the mat. Take a breath in. Exhale, child's pose. One more inhale. Exhale, walk all the way up, tabletop pose. Take the knees back, hip width distance apart. Now tuck the toes under, inhale. Exhale, lift up and back, downward facing dog. So for some of us, this might be our first downward facing dog. But begin to pedal out the feet. Begin to make some movement within the body that feels good for you. So for some of us, that's just this really gentle movement. For some of us, that's bending into both knees. For some of us, that's coming up all the way onto our toes. And for some of us, we start to find that stillness right away, that place where our fingers are wide on the mat, and our tailbone lifting high. Starting to envision this light right at the crown of the head that's pressing right to the space between the hands. So the head isn't heavy and loose, the gaze isn't lifted up, but you have this nice V pose. And this full body stretch, this full body strength. Take a breath in together. Exhale. Bend the knees and lift the gaze. Inhale. Exhale, walk the feet to the hands at the top of the mat, taking as many steps as you need to get there. Halfway lift when you do arrive. And then exhale, gently fold. Take a ragdoll pose, so take the feet hip width distance, maybe a little bit wider, and grab opposite hands to opposite elbows, almost like you're framing your face, your head here. Start to notice the knees and the legs. So if we have tighter hamstrings, that tighter back of the body, it might feel good to keep the knees bent to start. And let the head hang really heavy, and as you gently rock side to side, just to start to feel the weight distribution, where it falls in the feet, where it hits in the ball mounds, where it hits in the heels. And then gently release the hands all the way down to the mat. Toe heel the feet together so the two big toes touch. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale again, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to stand. Reach the fingers high. Gaze at the thumbs at the top. Exhale, hands to heart and fold. One more time. Halfway lift. Fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart, fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step the right foot back, low lunge pose. So really take up the space of your mat here. So if you have to inch your left foot a little bit further forward. And we're gonna take a couple cat-cow poses here. So maybe come onto the fingertips, and then inhale, bending into both of the knees, looking up, shoulders away from the ears. And then exhale, lifting the hips, straightening both of the legs, nose to knee. Inhale, bend, look up. Exhale, nose to knee. One more time. Inhale, bend. Exhale, nose to knee. Now inhale, bending into both of the knees. The right knee makes connection to the mat. Untuck the back toes and rise all the way up, kneeling crescent lunge. So let the palms connect here at the top. You can't probably see my palms, but they're connected. And press the hips forward, maybe finding this really gentle arch in the back as the biceps stay at the ears, the shoulders are soft, the gaze is center or up at the ceiling. Couple breaths here. One more breath in. Exhale, gently release the hands all take an easy twist. So take your right hand, plant it into the mat on the inside of the left foot, and then reach the left arm high as you gaze up at the thumb. Now, if it's there for you, tuck the right toes under and lift the knee, deepen the stretch. Take a breath in. Exhale, gently release the left hand down. As you're framing that left foot, we're gonna shift the room a bit. Take your left hand to the inside of the left foot, and then slowly start to walk your hands to center. We're in a wide-legged forward fold. So all 10 toes are pointing the same direction, feet parallel. Inhale, halfway lift, find a flat back. And then exhale, gently fold, melting completely here. So taking a couple breaths, you can keep your hands underneath your gaze. You can gently start to reach for the ankles or the heels. Starting to envision that crown of the head, that light right at the crown of the head, maybe slowly inching its way down into the mat, down underneath your shoulders. Start to take your hands underneath your gaze, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. We'll take Skandasana over to the left side to start. So bending into that left knee, that left heel can pop up, and the right toes point high. So the stretch is coming all through the right inner thighs. You can take your hands to heart center for a little balancing. We'll stay here for a couple breaths. One more inhale. Exhale, gently release the hands all the way down. We'll lift the hips high and then flip the room a little bit. So we're gonna walk our hands all the way over to the left foot, pivoting on both of the feet here. I'm gonna scoot back just a little so you can see. And really start to find your grounding here. So maybe notice the bottoms of the right foot. Notice where that weight distribution is, where that root is. Take your fingers really light onto the mat, a couple cat-cows here. Inhale, bending into the knees, looking up. And then exhale, lifting the hips, nose to knee. Inhale, bend. Nose to knee. One more time. Inhale, bend. Exhale, nose to knee. On this inhale, bend into the knees as the left knee releases down. Untuck the toes. That same long breath in, reach the fingers high. Kneeling crescent lunge. Connect the palms back at the top. Biceps to ears, pressing the hips forward. Stay here for a couple breaths. Gaze is center, or maybe gaze is coming up towards the ceiling, finding this really gentle back bend. Take another breath in. Exhale, gently release the hands all the way down. Find that twist on this side. So the left hand plants. As the right arm slowly starts to reach high, notice the hands. Notice that the fingers are soft. Extend them high. Stay here or tuck the left toes under and lift the knee. Deepen the twist, deepen the stretch. Take another breath in. Exhale, release the right hand all the way down. Take the right hand to the inside of the right foot and then gently start to shift the room again. Wide-legged forward fold here. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Take about 5 full cycles of breath. Maybe finding a different variation with your arms, your hands. Maybe reaching all the way to the space behind you. Start to take your hands underneath your gaze. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Skandasana to the right leg this time. So walk your hands over to the right foot, bending into that right knee. The left or the right heel can lift, that's fine. The left toes can stay lifted, feeling the stretch through the inner thigh of the left leg. And then maybe find your balance here, taking your hands to heart center. Finding that drishti, that point in front of you that's not moving. The focal point to send the breath, the gaze. Beautiful. Take a breath in. Exhale, release your hands all the way down, wide-legged forward fold again. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Now walk your hands all the way over to the left foot again. We're gonna frame the foot with our hands. This time planting the palms all the way down into the mat. Take an inhale, and then exhale, press back, downward facing dog, and really rock the hips side to side here. Finding movement that feels good for you. Now slowly start to find a moment of stillness as the heels start to fall closer towards the mat. Inhale, come on to the toes. Exhale, melt to the heels. Inhale, come on to the toes. Exhale, melt to the heels. Inhale, come all the way onto the toes, bend the knees, lift the gaze. And then exhale, step towards the top of the mat and come into Sukhasana pose, our easy seated pose again. And you're just gently rocking side to side. And letting yourself reconnect with your breath. And then start to take the soles of the feet flat on the mat. And take your hands behind you. Have your fingers point towards your seat. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. We're gonna prepare for reverse tabletop pose. So really ground down through the seat. Take an inhale and exhale. Inhale. Start to lift the hips, reverse tabletop pose. Gaze is up. Arms are strong, core's engaged. Rooting down through the bottoms of the feet as you press the hips high. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath in. Exhale, gently release all the way down. When you get here, keep the feet about hip width distance apart. Take your hands to the knees. Take a couple cat-cows. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, rounding the spine. Again, inhale, looking up. Exhale, rounding the spine. Inhale, looking all the way up. Last time, exhale, round the spine, chin to chest. And then slowly start to come back to center. We're gonna extend our legs long. We're gonna go for reverse plank pose. So start to point the toes, and then take the hands one more time. Let the palms flat on the mat, the fingers pointing towards the seat. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Slowly start to lift the hips for reverse tabletop pose. Now I'm going to walk my hands back a little bit here. I didn't use up the entire space. Taking your gaze high. Keeping the core engaged. The legs strong, the toes pointed. Big breath in. Long breath out. One more inhale. Exhale, gently release all the way down. Find a nice neutral spine again, so the shoulders are stacked directly over the hips. Then reach the fingers high, flex the feet, draw the toes towards the body. Exhale, seated forward fold, releasing the hands down, keeping the back as flat, as straight as you can. Maybe grabbing on to the shins, the ankles, the toes, the feet. And then slowly starting to come all the way back up. We're gonna counter pose this just with one more little counter pose. So flat, putting the soles of the feet back flat on the mat. Walk the feet out just a little bit here. So this is a restorative pose, and it's a great pose for what we're going through in our life right now. So we're gonna take the knees together and the thighs together, and we're gonna take our arms and hug them behind our thighs. And so this is really a resting pose here. So notice that the spine is a little bit rounded, and that's okay. We're gonna release our right cheek to our knees to the tops of our thighs and just relax here. Are you feeling your heart beating in your chest? Maybe your belly pressing into the tops of your thighs and just noticing the pace of the breath again. Letting yourself come back to that really smooth, quiet, relaxed breath in, breath out. Now slowly keeping the arms as they are, just switch the gaze, taking the opposite cheek to the knees, the tops of the thighs. Slowly releasing the pose and taking the arms out from underneath you. And we're just going to shimmy all the way down to maybe the middle of our mat, keeping the knees bent, the soles of the feet flat on the mat, maybe reaching the fingers forward and lowering all the way down to your back. So any way that you'd like to get there. Coming all the way flat onto the mat, we're going to draw the knees into the chest. Wrapping your arms around the shins or the knees or the backs of the thighs, and just allow for a really gentle rock side to side here. Now we'll go for a supine twist. So taking your arms out to a T, releasing both knees all the way over to the right side. Your gaze can start to extend over the left shoulder, eyes closed, eyes soft. And start to draw the knees back into the chest. And if it feels good, hug them back in and just gently rock side to side here. And then when you're ready, just simply take this on the opposite side. Arms come back out to a T. And your knees can fall over to the left side. I didn't leave myself a ton of room here. And take your gaze over the right shoulder. Just feeling the shoulder blades making connection with the mat. As we're developing our home practice, you might start to notice different poses that you prefer to have a blanket or a pillow, something close by. Knowing that this pose is one of those. If the shoulder starts to lift, sometimes it's nice just to put a blanket underneath the shoulder just to keep it grounded. Knowing that our bodies are different every day, so what might have worked one day might be completely different than the next. So just always being gentle with ourselves, honoring where you're at in the moment. And slowly starting to come back up. The last time we're going to be here, start to draw the knees into the chest, wrapping your hands around the knees or the shins, the backs of the thighs again, rock side to side, and take a deep breath in. And then exhale, slowly working into a Shavasana pose. So the arms come alongside the body, and then the legs slowly start to extend long. Maybe taking the heels out to the edges of the mat. Maybe taking your arms out to this V pose, or maybe even out into a T. So really taking up this space that's around you. And taking this energy perhaps off of the mat and onto the floor, onto your home. And let your mouth softly open, allowing exhales to flow through the mouth and taking away anything that's no longer serving you. yogis, I invite you to press pause or stop on your iPads or computers or phones and enjoy as long of a Shavasana as your body wants and as long as your time will allow. But I'd like to take this time to thank you for joining me in this practice. And while we miss being in the wonderful Soulflow studio, I am excited to share more videos like this, knowing that energy does not know distance, and we can all share our energy and our time with each other. Namaste, friends.